Lena and Marcus had been married for 12 years. They had 2 children, a comfortable home, and a life that, on the outside, looked steady and predictable. Marcus's older sister, Camille, had always been around. She was confident, sharp-witted, and carried herself with a quiet authority that made people listen when she spoke. She was married too, her life seemingly as settled as her brother's. At first, Lena's attraction was something she dismissed. Admiration, she told herself. Camille's laugh lingered in her mind a little longer than it should have. The brush of her hand during a family dinner felt electric in a way that startled her. She began throwing subtle hints, compliments that lasted a second too long, glances held just past what was comfortable. Camille never seemed to notice. Or perhaps she chose not to. One afternoon, when Marcus was out of town for work, Camille stopped by unexpectedly. The kids were at school. Lena offered wine. 1 glass turned into 2. The air shifted. The conversation, once casual, grew softer, slower. There was a moment, just a second, when Lena's hand lingered on Camille's knee. Camille stilled. Their eyes met. Something unspoken passed between them, and then awkwardness flooded the room like cold water. Camille stood abruptly, muttering something about needing to go. She left confused, unsettled, her thoughts racing. She didn't tell her husband. She didn't tell her brother. She told herself it had been nothing, but curiosity is stubborn. Weeks later, during preparations for a summer cookout, both husbands went fishing, leaving the women at the house with the kids. The children ran outside with neighbors, their laughter drifting in through open windows. Inside, Lena and Camille moved around the kitchen, cleaning and arranging dishes. They laughed easily, the tension from that earlier afternoon simmering beneath the surface. Wine appeared again. At some point, Lena excused herself to change into a sundress. Camille followed, intending to ask something trivial, maybe about the playlist for later. Instead, she stepped into the bedroom and froze. Curiosity collided with impulse. She closed the door, not in panic, but in decision. What happened between them was not planned. It was charged, rushed, and fueled by months of silent tension. When it ended, both women stood breathless, not triumphant, not ashamed exactly, but shaken. They didn't speak of it. But they didn't stop either. For 2 years, they carved out hidden moments, brief, stolen pockets of time when no one was looking. The secrecy was intoxicating. The risk heightened everything. Yet beneath the heat was something more complicated, a shared understanding, an exploration neither had known they wanted. Neither husband suspected. Family gatherings continued. Holidays were celebrated. The children grew. Eventually, though, intensity softened into familiarity. The mystery faded. The urgency dulled. What had once felt like fire became a quiet ember. One evening, sitting side by side after another secret meeting, Camille exhaled slowly. "We can't keep doing this forever," she said. Lena nodded. Not out of guilt, but out of clarity. Whatever questions they'd carried had been answered. Whatever curiosity had driven them had been explored. There was no grand confession, no dramatic fallout. They chose to stop. Over time, the tension dissolved back into something resembling normalcy. They never spoke of it again. They returned to their roles, wives, mothers, sisters-in-law, with a shared secret that neither weaponized nor romanticized. Life moved forward, and in its own quiet way, the family remained whole. Not because nothing had happened, but because the women understood that some chapters are meant to be temporary. The line had been crossed, but it had also been redrawn.